Viewer discretion is advised. Your fave will be criticized.
That's Shan.
That's Chris.
Welcome to CCTV, the nonstop pop show.
And today we are heading to Pop 101 class and learning about the super K-pop group SHINee.
Shan, do you like SHINee?
Do I? Okay, so I definitely like them. I got into them around when they debuted, or at least around the time Love Like Oxygen came out. I found them because I was really into Rino Nakasone and her dance group Beat Freaks. Around the time I was into Boa and Big Bang already, so the variables naturally led me into SHINee. My hugest regret is never being able to see all of them live. Jonghyun and Key were definitely my biases and bias wrecker. But artistically, I do definitely enjoy Taemin's solo work. So yeah, what about you?
I credit SHINee for being my catalyst into the K-pop world. Because I didn't really know much about it before them. A friend showed me Ring Ding Dong because she thought it was ridiculous, which I agreed with. But I was also well, I wonder what their other songs are like too.
Right.
And then it just started a big spiral, and I was like, oh, okay, these other songs are actually really good.
Yeah.
And then I heard Lucifer, and then it was done. I was obsessed. I just think they're one of the most talented boy groups ever.
I agree.
And it's a very high quality back catalog. So yeah, I've been lucky to see them a few times. I did go to SM Town in New York in 2011. Also at a K-pop concert in Macau with SNSD and UKISS and BAP. Just kind of a random lineup, but yeah. I'm so excited to be talking about them today.
Me too. Finally, we've been talking about doing this for a really long time. Even before the show came to be, we were like, SHINee.
Yes.
So we have created a playlist for you all to follow along on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Music if you want to listen to the full tracks or watch the music videos. So the links are below.
That's right. So SHINee is back, and now class is in session.
In May 2008, a 5-piece boy band named SHINee made their debut. Their company, SM Entertainment, introduced the group name as having 2 elements. Shine, meaning light, and E as a suffix referring to the one who receives light, much like an employee or an attendee. They were the ones to receive the light. With a name like that, it is no wonder that this group was as brilliant as they were, are, and ever will be. The group consists of Flaming Charisma, Minho, Tofu Onew, Almighty Key, Powerful Taemin, and Bling Bling, Jonghyun.
Good intro. All right, so their very first single was a contemporary, sophisticated R&B track called Replay.
This song was from their first mini album, full of 5 songs, including a Replay remix. With this introduction into SHINee, there was a fashion trend, the SHINee trend, and it became synonymous with high-top sneakers, skinny jeans, and fashionable clothing. It was created by designer Ha Sang-bang. I probably said the name wrong, my bad. But this debut actually hit the top 10, which is amazing. I mean, people now talk about, monster rookies, blah, blah, blah. This person is just really talented for a rookie, right? But this group, SHINee, when they debuted, it was like they're singing live, they're dancing well, and they look good. What are your thoughts about this song?
This is such a good song. What an awesome debut track.
Right.
It's interesting because they were so young at the time. Taemin was only 15.
Right.
But there's a coolness to the track, and it's actually aged relatively well.
I agree.
And it's cool. It fits their age, and it has the cute, cheesy lyrics that appeal to, the older women, I guess, and also the teenage girls. And also the choreography by Rino. Oh my gosh, it's so good. I think it's still one of my favorite K-pop dance routines.
For sure.
Yeah. What do you think of the track?
I remember seeing it and I was like, okay, who's the one with the headphones around his neck? Jonghyun. I was like, oh, he's so cute. So I really liked it. this song is one of those things that if you don't know the intro by now, the dun, dun, dun,
Mm-hmm.
dun, 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 it was something that when I first saw, I thought was really impressive because, like I said, I was into Big Bang at the time, and Big Bang did not dance like this, right? And of course, Reno with the choreography, I was like, oh my god, this is so good. And Taemin danced just like her because they're kind of both like very slender.
Mm.
And I also remember at the time there was this show that SM forced that SM asked the boys to be on. It's called SHINee Yoon Hannam, and basically they were required to go on dates with Nunas. And I remember the first two
That's
episodes.
terrible. They're all like underage too. Weren't they all like 17?
Yes, and I think Taemin went on a date with like a 30-year-old who was a dancer. Like the first two episodes was about him going to a dance rehearsal with her, and she's a really huge fan of him, and she gave him her her glove. She's like, I use this glove.
I hate this.
Me too.
All right.
So awkward. So awkward. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. One interesting note with this song is because Taemin was only 15, he actually doesn't have any solo lines in the Korean version of the track because his voice was still changing. And but later on, when they did the Japanese version, they actually did give him some lines. So
Yes, yes.
yeah.
Also, I remember along with Taemin being so young, I think he was like not getting bullied, but you know, you're a young kid, you're famous. And I remember the SHINee guys, other members like walking him to school at one point. And I remember before I really, really got into the group, there was this video floating around of Jonghyun singing Incomplete by Cisco. And at the time, the video was like Asian boy sings Incomplete by Cisco. And I was like, oh my God, this Asian guy can really sing. So yeah, this around this time, they were definitely picking up some traction for sure. And even though this song is as iconic as it is now, they actually didn't win number one. It didn't happen until Love Like Oxygen.
So Love Like Oxygen is actually a cover of Show the World by Martin Hoberg Hedegaard from Europe somewhere.
Obviously.
And is also the main single from their first album, The SHINee World,
Yes.
which also featured the song The SHINee World with their horrific roll call.
No.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so this song, like you said, gave them their first music show win on M Countdown. And it's known for its MJ feels and its awesome chair choreography, which I think was done again by Reno.
Of course. Yes, no, it was.
Yeah.
For sure.
Oh gosh, this is such a fun song.
This song and this album was actually pretty good. I like the R&B cuts, the deep cuts on that album. It's really nice. But one of the most iconic ballads like covered was Jonghyun's cover of Y Si Fuera Ella, where they end up calling it Heya. And the ballad lives on in Shallow Hearts now. And the best thing about this song, Love Like Oxygen, is that Onew used to make fun of Jonghyun singing it, the intro part. It's hysterical. And he's like, oh, my heart is broken. Like I was really trying to like embrace the whole MJ spirit, you know? Do you have any songs that you really like on this album?
Yeah, I agree. It's kind of funny listening to it back because it is pretty full of these like R&B slow jams, which is interesting for like these like 17-year-old kids to do.
Right.
But I especially love, there's a song called Romantic. And also there's an unplugged remix of the song In My Room, which was from the Replay EP.
Right.
Just a beautiful melody, really great harmonies in there.
Yeah.
It's just kind of crazy like how great they are vocally.
Yes.
Like Jonghyun, Onew, and Key, especially near the beginning,
were solid.
Yeah.
For kids.
So consistent.
For sure.
Yes.
Not even trying to be funny, but like a lot of people say, oh my God, this idol can sing really well. I mean, before like the whole idea of making an army full of kids, this was a group that had, I said what I said. This was a group that had only 5 people with distinct voices, not like they weren't created with the idea of, oh, this person's replaceable or, oh, if this person can't sing, we have somebody else like in the group that could do it. It was like, no, you sing like this, you sing like that, you sing like that, you know? And you had Minho doing his rap, and of course he was attractive. And then Taemin, who ended up getting even better, but he was a powerful dancer. So they all played a role that just made them stand out in their own way without being like, oh, this one's the obvious star.
Hmm. I do also have to give Minho props
Mm-hmm.
because he is the rapper and the visual, I guess. And but at the end, like his voice isn't amazing, but he's actually very consistent live as well. And so there's really no dud
Not at
here.
all.
Like they really are very talented, which I appreciate.
I agree. And you know, with their music, there are going to be, speaking of some duds, and unfortunately, one of us has an interesting opinion about the next single that they decided to release, Amigo. So Amigo is short for 아름다운 민요를 처하면 고생한다. So my Korean is not great, but the translation is loosely based on the heart aches when you fall in love with a beauty. This song was released on the repackaged version of SHINee World. And
Mhm.
I remember when I first heard this song and I thought, oh my God, the cold heart, baby. Cold ice, baby. I was like, oh my God, Key. And that's when the Key snatched me from Jonghyun. He snatched me. And I was like, oh my God. And there's a part he's like, so this sexy. I was like, oh my God, his finger. Like, I don't know what the finger's doing for the sexy. Listen,
Wow.
I was a young teen and like going straight into high school, or at least, yeah, not even. I
Mhm.
wasn't even in high school yet. I thought it was like the
Right.
hottest thing ever. And the Amigo,
Okay.
you know,
Interesting. Okay, so for me, because this is one of the because I had to go back, right?
yeah,
Because I wasn't into them when this came out.
right.
Um, I don't love this song. I
Meh.
feel like it's probably my least favorite SHINee Korean single.
Hmm. I
I just
understand.
find the chorus kind of a little
Yeah,
annoying.
it's a little lazy.
Yeah, they do or they have done like a rock version on
Hmm.
tour before, which I prefer.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't need this one. But luckily, in May 2009, they
Yeah.
released one for me a highlight of their discography,
Hmm.
Juliette from the Romeo mini album. So Juliet is actually a remake of Deal With It by Jay Sean and Corbin Bleu.
I'm
um,
dead.
but Minho and Jonghyun actually helped pen Korean lyrics for this, which is awesome that they are now starting to songwrite as
Hmm.
young teenagers. Um, and I love this song. It's super catchy. It's super happy.
Hmm.
And I think watching their performances and stuff, you can really see that their confidence is coming in now and
Hmm.
they know they're good.
Right.
And again, Reno, yo, this choreography, it's so
Yeah.
good. Oh
Yes, I
man,
agree. Yeah.
she is just amazing. I've been lucky enough to take a class from her before
Mm.
when she came to LA when I was living
Lucky.
there.
Yeah.
And it was everything I wanted. She did like a Michael Jackson song and it was just like perfect. So
Wow, look at you. Oh
yeah.
my goodness. You know, when I first heard this song, just quick question for you. Had you heard Deal With It prior to this
No.
song? Ah, okay. I did because, I think I was growing up with the whole like the High School Musical thing. So I was like, oh my God, Corbin Blue, the curly hair. Oh my God,
Yeah.
So I think this is from like a movie jumping, but I had heard it. So when I heard this song, I was a little like, what's this? And as you all will come to find out, I have a beef with SM doing this thing where they'll buy the rights to a song because they did it with FX, for a couple of their songs just to re-record it. And again, a small beef, just a small beef. Um, but yeah, I ended up letting the song grow on me rather, excuse me.
Mhm.
And I remember seeing Crystal in the video and I thought it was so nice because FX is like a sister group and Victoria was in Replay. So I liked it. And during this time, Onew actually chipped his tooth. Um, and this is how I was introduced to the Onew condition because apparently he is quite clumsy. So this is one thing that kind of really stood out to me about this era. And Junghyun's hair. he looked like I don't know, a fighter from a like Street Fighter or something. So
Mhm.
yeah, it's a lot of interesting things, and also their colorful pants made a comeback, so that was also really fun to see.
Yeah, this is when the styling gets kind of weird and crazy,
Yeah, the shirts and the
which I
yeah.
appreciate.
hmm
You know, it's memorable for sure.
A couple months after this song, they introduced a very interesting track called Ring Ding Dong. Being the first single from 2009 Year of Us, Ring Ding Dong is an Afro-electric song, and it's completed with a beat of like an African Congo drum and like an electro synthesizer. So just right off the bat, the song is just very different,
Mhm.
u- unique.
Yes, very
right off
unique.
right off the bat. So the song was described to be almost the, I guess, anthem for that ring ding dong, the bells that you hear, the bells of love you hear when you see the one. Uh, Due to its insanely catchy chorus, it remains one of SHINee's signature songs, and it helped them become even more popular.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I think it's really interesting because the song became a little too popular because it was banned in some high schools. They were like, it's too catchy, it's distracting the kids. So what do you think about this song?
Oh gosh. Well, I will never forget the first time I heard
Mhm.
this song.
Right.
So I was doing a radio show in college,
Yeah.
and my friend was like, "Oh my god, you see this crazy music video?" And he showed it to me, and I was like, "I'm
Ah,
confused. Like, it's weird styling. It's like annoying, and the
yes.
auto tune is insanely overused in the song."
hmm
But at the same time, they were very talented, and I was, like I said before, I was just intrigued. So I did
Yeah.
end up. So I credit this song for really my interest in them.
Right.
But yeah, now it's definitely not a favorite of mine.
I agree. No, I
It
agree.
is catchy. I think it does stand out in their discography though, as it
hmm
doesn't really fit in with anything. Like it,
Yeah, like complimentary track. I can't really think, oh, this kind of matches this song or something like that. There's nothing that really quite
yeah,
has that cola, 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 cola,
it
fantastic.
almost
Like I just
feels. It almost feels like it should have, or it was written with Super Junior in mind, maybe.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Yes. Oh my God. Totally that whole like bone mama, like making up words,
right.
the sorry kind of thing. You are so right. Oh my, me being a little elf over here. You're right now that I think about it. This song was interesting to me as well, because of like the little earwormy parts, like the ring dang dong and the kolak kolak fantastic elastic. Not in love with the Shakespearean approach of making up words and trying to make it a thing. Um, Not a fave of mine either. But like you said, it was something that was a little bit different and it definitely caught my eye. I mean, they were dressing more edgier, they became darker, cool, but they still had their little skinny jeans. So
Hmm.
I really appreciate that even though they were evolving, they still maintained certain little elements of, SHINee. And interestingly enough, around the same time, they had done Hello Baby, which was interesting because, you have these teenage boys taking care of the baby.
I
Honestly,
can't with some of these reality shows that they make them do. Like,
you read
what?
my mind. You read my mind. Like, what the hell? But it's one of those things where they were becoming hot at the time. So what's the next best thing to do? Instead of putting them in a drama, let's put them in a reality / variety show,
Mm.
such as the Nuna dating show. So
So they also promoted the track JoJo to support the 2009 Year of Us EP. And this one was done by Kenzie, who is a frequent SM collaborator. And yeah, it was cute. They did it was like a winter themed, they did a lot of
yeah.
like winter themed performances for it.
hmm
But in July of 2010,
hmm
they released Lucifer. So Lucifer, it was co-written by BB Rexa and Ryan June. And this song is so good. But yeah, so it completely took over K-pop with its iconic choreography, again by Reno and also with Shin Jae-won.
hmm
And dude, this song,
Yeah.
it's still one of my favorite K-pop songs of all time.
Agreed.
Not even K-pop, favorite pop songs of all time. It's
Yeah.
perfect. It's so cool. The chorus is so catchy. The dance routine is just a great combination of super hard hitting and performance oriented. I don't know any Korean, but I can basically sing this entire song while doing the entire choreography.
I'm dead.
That good. That's how many times
funny?
I have watched this. Yeah.
This is true because when we went to karaoke, not only were you dancing Ring Ding Dong, we talked a lot of crap about Ring Ding Dong, but at karaoke, you know,
that dance routine is so fun. Oh yeah.
Yes, but I remember Lucifer being one of the songs that you mentioned that you could just do like without a problem verbatim. And I don't blame you. This song is literally one of those songs where I wish that more, I guess, future generation K-pop idols would cover this song because it was one of those things that really I guess when it hit the K-pop world, it was just really amazing to see something so intricate, to see something so good and have the talent to back it up. Every single vocal on this track is belting, giving you notes, and even Minho was singing like everyone sounded good. Key's hair is shaved completely shaved on one side. Taemin is wearing weave for the first time, and I know for a lot of people, like, what's the big deal? But at the time, this kid was seen as like, whoa, okay, he's kind of hot right now. What's with his hair? Like it was just really amazing. And I remember watching the dance practice. This was one of those videos in the Cloud Room. For new K-poppies that do not know, the Cloud Room was SM's original dance studio, you know? And just seeing him wearing this striped shirt, something about the shirt, I guess because the quality of the video and the striped shirt, the optical illusion was just very hypnotizing. So when you watch that video, it's like, wow. And then Jonghyun started working out. So everyone's looking really hot. Like, for lack of a better word, everyone looked like really confident. And I mean, with this song, I remember as they performed it later on, Taemin actually started taking on some of Jonghyun's notes and things like that. And that's when I started to realize, like, wow, Taemin is actually getting better with his singing. So this song isn't just like, oh my God, it's iconic. It shows vocal growth, dance growth, just better flows from Minho. Just everything was different. And I definitely appreciated the hard work that they put into it. And then when Hello came out afterward, which was like a complete 180. For the re-release, I thought it was cute. It was a nice little R&B mid-tempo situation. It was cute. It was cute, but it was just like a complete just juxtaposition from Lucifer.
Yeah. It definitely feels kind of inspired by early Backstreet Boys. Like, it kind of fits in with like As Long As You Love Me. Or like Quit Playing Games, kind of that whole kind of cute vibe. I mean, I think it's funny because I think because this is the time when I was just learning about K-pop, and a lot of groups at the time would kind of do the darker concept, and then the next song would be the cute concept, and then they would just kind of keep going back and forth. So it's not my favorite song, but it's cute. Yeah.
So after Lucifer and then Hello, there was a 1.5 year long hiatus due to them launching into Japan. We're only covering the Korean discography today, but if you would like for us to talk about the Japanese singles and Japanese albums, we will definitely make a video if you'd like to leave a comment for that. So right after that little stint in Japan, that really wasn't a stint, they released another iconic song, Sherlock, Clue and Note. Honestly, when I heard it, obviously I didn't know that it was a hybrid song. I just thought, wow, this is good. This is great. It was choreographed by Tony Testa, absolutely amazing choreographer from America who worked on Michael Jackson's This Is It tour. And he has credits with Janet Jackson, Kylie Minogue, Britney Spears, just to name a few. This experimental hybrid mashup of K-pop songs wasn't exactly something that was done at the time, right? And SM has tried to duplicate this effect with Super M's, was it One and
Monster and Infinity.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I do think this whole hybrid idea now is actually very common. They're not like telling us all the different songs that were involved, but now K-pop is full of songs with like these weird structures, multiple choruses, the verses never sound the same. And so like, I do think this was a big step in that direction of like, you don't need to follow this pop formula. You can just kind of be weird about it. So I think this really made a big impact with that. But yeah, I remember the hiatus. Well, I mean, it gave me a chance to catch up because that was just when I was getting into them. So I was like, okay, like I can just like see what's going on. But yeah, this song fully delivered. I know the anticipation was super high. And this song has since made it into a lot of like best boy band songs of all times list. Like I know it's on the latest Rolling Stone, just to name one of them. But yeah, this is such a cool track, again, with great choreography that really allowed them to just like perform at their best ability. Yeah.
This song, this everything about this song gets me in my feelings because literally my friend and I used to like oh, I'm curious throughout like the cafeteria when we were in college. We used to literally, I'm curious, like hike through, just to be funny because it was something. Not only was the dance really kinetic. I mean, there's the cannon when they roll out, when there's just
my favorite part.
Like there's literally so many different parts of this dance that is just iconic. And of course, I remember the teasers for this. It was like some weird, like psychedelic adult film. Like they had Taemin sitting there with no shirt on with this long weave and Minho looking like a broccoli headed, like, I can't say the word right now, but it was just it did not fit what was going to be the single. You know what I'm saying? Like it had no type of like Sherlock, or clue and note. Oh, I know. Let's go to a Woodstock, like, honey, it made no sense, honey. It made no sense. And I remember that there was this very delicious encore performance that lives on. And if you were around on Tumblr at the time, there was this gift set that was going around of Jonghyun because he started like working out a lot more, and he had opened his vest during one of the encore performances of girl. I mean,
oh wow. Okay. I'll just let you bask in that for a second. So the next single that SHINee released, this song, again, another iconic song. In February 2013, they released Dream Girl. So this song was the first release from a 2-part album called The Misconceptions of Us. And this first part of the album was titled The Misconceptions of You. And the themes and songs were showcasing the brighter pop side of SHINee. And this track was described by its producers as an acid electro-funk song.
Very, very specific, right?
Yeah. Oh man, I love this song. This is one of my top 5 SHINee songs for sure. The production is really, really well done.
Yes.
The layering. Yeah, very, very crisp. And it's got so much going on without sounding busy. And the chorus is so catchy.
Yeah.
And, from the beginnings of boy bands, from the Motown days, we love boy bands doing anything with a microphone stand.
Yes, the mic stands, yeah.
So Tony Testa, I believe, did this one, and
killed it again.
He did an amazing microphone stand choreo. Like this is like the coolest choreo.
Yeah, honestly, when you have a group full of like, I guess 15, 11 kids, you can't really have all of them do these microphone things, right?
Yeah.
I guess it sounds like I'm throwing shade, but like literally one of my favorite groups is 17 or NCT. I like them or whatever. But there's something about having your little 5 members get a prop and dance with that prop. Because this song was so good, I'm joking, but because the song was actually really good, it won 4 times on So Champion. And due to that, rules were set in place to limit artists to only 3 wins on the show.
Wow.
Yeah, this is this song for them. I remember watching the video and seeing Taemin in these pencil pants. It was so weird.
Very tight.
But it fit the theme, I guess, with the video and the trampoline and like everything was just very surreal, very just dreamlike. And in typical SHINee fashion, they switched it up again with Why So Serious. Released in April 2013, Why So Serious is a funk rock dance track produced by Kenzie, written by Kenzie, just Kenzie. We love us some Kenzie. It was part of the second half of the Misconceptions of Us album. While the Misconceptions of Me was more focused on Eric's experimental sounds and lyrics. Unfortunately, Jonghyun was unable to promote the track or even be in the video with the rest of the group due to a car accident. And it was interesting because this was the first time we would see the dancing silhouette as only four. The song definitely gave me larger than life vibes in the beginning, just because it's just so like, it's loud and it's like rockish in the beginning. But I have to say, it's not one of my favorite songs by them. It's good, but I just felt like it was kind of like, oh, this is a bombastic filler. Let's put this out.
Yeah, I think I love watching them perform it because they always look like they're having the best time, because I think the choreography looks really fun, and I think it's probably fun to sing. But yeah, to listen to, it's not my favorite either.
Right. But, next, after a little brief break, they would release Everybody.
So Everybody is classified under the complextro genre, which I had never heard of before this, and was choreographed by Tony Testa again, and features some of the hardest choreography for the group. And it just showed, again, how impressive they are, because they often sang it live on the music shows.
Yeah, this song was one of those what the heck is this, what's happening. I mean, I remember around the time the whole dubstep scene was kind of okay, but I think based off our New East experience, I wasn't exactly like, oh, dubstep, I don't know how I feel about this. But when I first heard the song, I actually watched the video at first, and I remember watching it and being just like blown away. The energy behind the song is just locomotive. It just keeps going and going and going. And even like after the first chorus, there's this like video game kind of situation going on. Like there's not vocals as a post chorus, there's dancing as a post chorus, like a little cute little dance break. And everything about the video was like really spectacular. Like they were really selling this idea of like militant kind of thing. And again, going back to just them growing up into their manhood, Taemin's out here without a shirt. Key's looking like epic as usual. He just has like this edge. He always brought this amazing edge to the group. I mean, Taemin, of course, became a little bit more like comfortable and more like present with it, but it's just something about each one of the guys' solo scenes. They owned it. It was really, really interesting. And the Aqua Pearl scenes were great. Just absolutely gorgeous. But yeah, what were your thoughts about the song when you first heard it, like the video?
Yeah, I remember actually being a little disappointed the first time I heard it. Because it's not, I mean, there's some amazing vocal moments in it, but it just, it didn't, I don't know, it just wasn't something I loved listening to. But the second I saw the video and the performances, I was sold. Like this, I feel like this is one of those, you do need the whole package.
Yeah.
The visual package to fully appreciate what they were going for.
Right.
Which I don't usually love. I don't love when a song has to depend on choreography or anything to show its full quality. But in their case, I'm biased, so I'm fine with it.
Honesty.
But honestly, on tour and in the performances, it's one of their best for sure.
Well, I'm a sucker because I was like, I love it. It's probably one of like my favorite songs by them. And I think it, like you said, is due in part to how well they performed it. And even when they sang it, they sing it live when they're on music shows and in concerts. I'm like, oh, this is one of those songs where I will give you a lip syncing pass. But, hey, it is what it is. I'm not complaining. This wasn't their only single that they released, though. They actually released another one called Symptoms. It was only released with a lyric video, nothing, too grandiose with it. It was quite nice, I must say.
I love this
Yeah,
song.
yeah, it's
I
good.
feel like I was waiting for them to do like a more grown up R&B
Right.
sexy jam because that was very present in the beginning, and then it
Hmm.
kind of they got a bit more experimental, and that kind of was lost a little bit
Yeah.
from these past few albums. So to have them come back now as like older men
Yes.
and kind of be able to emote a little differently, I guess, you know,
Hmm.
just a little in a more mature way. This song was perfect. The vocals are amazing in this song.
Like they have more seasoned vocals by this point, like everyone's coming into their own,
Hmm.
and I really do wish they would release an R&B single. I really do. I mean, I know EXO is kind of in charge of that, and at this point EXO had already been established,
Hmm.
but I really do wish there was a little something sexy because everyone was really getting into their own. I mean, a couple months later in August, Taemin finally released his debut album Ace,
Hmm.
and then a couple months after, in January, Jonghyun released Base, which
Hmm.
Taemin accused him of plagiarizing the title. Totally
I
teasing.
love that.
Totally teasing. But with these two, you know, solos, it was like, okay, wow, they can actually hold their own
Hmm.
without the group. I mean, Key was doing his own thing with Two Heart as well, with the "Come on, girl, love is so delicious."
I was not a fan of that song. I love Woohyun though. Yeah, I loved them as friends, but that song was not it. Yeah, no, it's kind of awesome because very much kind of like the Spice Girls.
Mhm.
When you hear all their solo material, you can really hear where their individual influences are and their individual abilities are. And then when they come back together as a group, they're like even stronger when they've done that. So I kind of love
Agreed.
that. But yeah, their solo careers are also very extensive. So let us know if you want us to do videos on those, because there's no way we can incorporate that into this.
Right.
So yeah,
Right.
so they were very busy. They were releasing solo material. They were still promoting in Japan and
Mhm.
releasing a ton of completely different music in Japan. Um,
Yeah.
but in May 2015, they made a comeback with a song that I think most people will actually say is their best song, I think, and that is View.
A single from their fourth album, Odd, View is a song that is produced by London Noise. London Noise. If you don't know, you should know at this point. It's been a couple years since they've been in the game. The group has mentioned that they felt the song and album set a new level and standard for the group, which I agree. The song, for me, encompassed the idea of them being colorful SHINee, but also maintaining the maturity of the newer SHINee, where they feel confident, their voices are strong, their dancing is really good. Fun fact, there's a video of music show staff watching the guys perform it in a control room, and they're not
Mhm.
lip syncing, they're singing live and into the mic, and they're like, whoa, oh my gosh, whoa, which is true because they sounded really good. And this definitely just reinforced the idea that they have some of the best vocals in K-pop, and they have the
Mhm.
most stable vocals because they were pushing the vocals and still doing the dance. What are your thoughts about this song?
Yeah, I mean, as a big fan of British pop music, I was really excited when I heard they were working with these British producers and they were
Mhm.
going for this like UK garage inspired, house inspired sound.
Yeah.
Um, I love this song. I think it's such a cool vibe.
Mhm.
I love that the video is like kind of weird. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think the whole thing is just it's very timeless.
Mhm.
Like it's still, if it was released today, I still think it would work.
I
Like
agree.
yeah, I love how it's kind of laid back in a way.
Mhm.
The choreo is cute.
Yeah,
So yeah,
the shoulders and the
exactly.
hips. Yeah.
Exactly. And this album was solid as well. So yeah,
Mm.
I was really excited about this song and still remains also one of my favorite K-pop songs ever.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
good song. It's a good song. I mean, it goes right along with FX's Four Walls. For
Hmm.
people who do not know, the groups actually switch songs. So Four Walls was supposed to be a SHINee track, and then View was supposed to be an FX track. But
Hmm.
I mean, through Kismet or whatever you want to call it, they switched it, and now they have this beautiful song added to their catalog.
Hmm.
And I just want to shout out Odd Eye, the whew, boy, as their B-side promotion. Delicious, absolutely delicious. There's gonna be a lot of fangirling from this side, okay? He had the eye patch. Oh, Jonghyun had the silver hair, Taemin's hair with the undercut because he was, doing his little like I'm a solo boy thing, So everyone just looked really delicious, for lack of a
Yeah.
better word, and they sounded good. But there's just something about them doing dark and edgy that I always appreciate. Just want to say.
Yeah. Shout out to Jonghyun too, because I believe he did co-write Odd Eye and
Mm.
View.
Yeah,
So
so
he was really showing his skills in every way. Yeah.
bling bling. But yeah, but speaking of them being able to kind of do the whole edgy thing and be a little sexy, they are able to combine the dark concept with some jovial aspects and some brighter kind of concepts, which is introduced in their next single, Married to the Music.
I'm married to the music.
So Married to the Music is a funky disco track. And the music video is really fun. I think this is probably my favorite music video of theirs, because it's just weird. First off, the styling is crazy. It almost feels like this really should have been released at Halloween, honestly. But the choreo is really good, and like they like lose random body parts and stuff, and there's like, oh, it's such a weird video, but they sell it. Like they are fully committed, and they totally sell it. And yeah, this song is just super fun.
Yeah, I do like this song. I think it was really fun. And it was nice to kind of allow them to jump back into their playful side, because it seems like they really enjoy these kind of like kooky concepts. And we enjoy them as fans as well. But of course, they had to return to the thing that just makes them great, which is beats and awesome dance moves. And that came with 101. So 101 would be their fifth Korean album, and this track was inspired by 90s New Jack Swing. Onew was actually injured at the time and did not dance during certain scenes in the video, which again introduced this whole silhouette of only like 4 people. And I could remember very vividly watching it and being like, it's just counting over. For some reason, I just kept counting. I think they did a really good job with the whole 90s thing. I think it was interesting watching the whole aesthetic of it all, because I remember looking at like album covers with the 90s, the big suits and things like that. But I will say that the styling team did a great job with this video, because it is 90s aesthetic, the whole R&B thing with the turtlenecks and the blazers, but it also kind of had like that K-pop appeal with the video being as simple as possible, but it just had different girls in different color outfits and things like that. Songs like this one and the songs featured on this album remind me of classic SHINee. It's colorful, but this time it's more refined. The palette is more just tasteful. It's not just like, let's throw what we can find on here. Let's just find random tracks and rebuy the licenses and let's make original song for these guys and let it be great, So I really did appreciate this album and the single.
Yeah, I think they did an awesome job bringing the 90s sound into a more modern production. I think the whole balance of that is really, really well done. So props to the producers for that. I love 90s pop like the most. So I was really excited that they came back with this concept. And I love that it wasn't just the single, like it was the whole album. That they really did actually explore different parts of like different genres that were prevalent in the 90s. I think that was awesome that they kind of let them delve so deep into that as a theme and as an inspiration. Also the routine again is super great for this one. And I love the styling as well. They were just like top of their game, honestly. Like they just kept getting better and better like this whole time, which is awesome.
I agree, and that's what kind of just makes it all the more like, I don't know, just nice to watch when it came out, and even now it's like, oh, this is so good.
It's very satisfying as a fan when the people that you like constantly try to better themselves and try new things, because it's always sucks when like an artist that you really love releases something and it feels like they phoned it in, or they're trying too hard to keep up with the trends or anything. Like SHINee have always been really good about just doing their own thing, and it's like the 90s, because at that point doing the whole retro thing wasn't
a thing
popular right there. It is now, but it wasn't, in 2016. So like for them to do that, I mean, they even released the album as a cassette. No
Yes.
one did that. People are doing that again now.
But
Like,
before, you're right.
yeah.
There was not.
So for them to be
Mhm.
able to kind of be this innovative and just be like, I don't care what the trend is right now, like we want to do a 90s album, you know, like
Right.
I think that's really awesome. And that's what makes being a fan of theirs so fun because
And
they are kind of
satisfying.
just, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
completely. I agree. I agree.
All right. So to follow the trend of the re-releases of these albums, they re-released the album with the song Tell Me What to Do in November 2016. So this song is a sentimental electro R&B track, very different from kind of anything they'd released previous to this. So it was kind of interesting just to see them go a bit more emotional with the lead single.
Right.
And I loved the routine with like the ribbons and strings, or ribbons, I think.
Ribbons.
This isn't my absolute favorite song of theirs. There are some
Right.
some really good vocal moments from them.
Yeah.
The one thing that bothers me in this song, the flow of Minho's rap is like really bizarre. Like it doesn't fit. For me.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
Between the SM style rap training and then probably his own personal kind of, delivery. Sometimes SM, yeah. Y'all get my point. And if you don't, whoops. I mean, like,
Yeah.
but no, I agree. It's not exactly my favorite song of theirs per se. It's not my style, like the way it was written. I wish they would have maybe allowed for another ballad or another kind of just sentimental track to be released, but it's neither here nor there, neither here nor there. But it would seem that after that, it seemed like Tell Me What to Do is kind of not foreboding, but things just did not seem to go in the right direction for the group. 2017 would probably be like the hardest year for SHINee. In August of 2017, Onew actually had a scandal where he was accused of sexual harassment while intoxicated. These charges were eventually dropped, but Onew took some time away, and the group toured in Japan without him. During this time, though, Taemin released Moving and Move, and we all know about the whole Move phenomenon in October. And it seemed like things were kind of on the mend in some kind of way. But unfortunately, the year would not end without a tragedy. On December 18th, 2017, Jonghyun passed away from an apparent suicide. A note describing his battles with depression and the pressures of fame were released to the public. And it was quite unfortunate because if you know anything about SM or anything about K-pop groups, you know that K-pop groups don't last long. That's one. Some of them don't last past 7 years. Some of them lose members. And SM has a terrible track record of retention. They cannot seem to keep a single member in a group. So SHINee kind of, like you said, being a fan and watching the group grow together for almost 10 years, it really was like, oh my God, this is amazing. Like they've lasted so long. So the passing of Jonghyun was actually very, very shocking and traumatic for a lot of people, not just like idols. Fan or not, I think you felt it.
Yeah, I will never forget finding out about it because it was like kind of morning time for us and I was like on my way to work. There was no way I could do any work that day. I was like in shock. I'm normally not too affected by celebrity deaths. It's just hard, we don't know them personally. This is probably the most I've ever been affected by a celebrity death. Just because he was my favorite member, my favorite voice in the group. And, I had watched all the interviews and stuff. So I did feel a connection to him. And it really does just make me really sad that he was suffering so much. I mean, even if you look back at some of his solo material, his lyrics are very sad, some of them, know, and it's sad that no one saw that and was able to help him. But yeah, I think, I've definitely gone through all the stages of grief and now at this point, I'm just very grateful that he has contributed what he has to SHINee and to like K-pop in general. So
right. No, I agree. I took this a lot more personal than I had expected to. Like I said, like this whole time I've been talking, oh my God, Jonghyun, who's that guy? Who's that guy? The whole time. So beyond like just like, oh, I'm attracted to this one member, he sings really good. Just being an artist in general, like the content and the subject matter of what he was saying in his letter is beyond like understandable. Being an artist and dealing with my own kind of like, imposter syndrome on occasion. I know that feeling where you want things to go well, you want things to be good, you want to be seen as someone who is good, who did their best. But I remember telling telling I was at work actually, and I was so upset, and I actually asked to leave work early and I went to the city for I went to Manhattan rather for
Mhm.
the vigil. It was I think you and I actually were like trying to link up at the time, but we just couldn't. I think we saw each other very briefly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I cried like a baby. Oh man. But I think out of everyone involved, I think SHINee, of course, was the most affected. I mean, I felt very, very, very sorry to them. And after his death, there was an open dialogue about the harsh and competitive nature of the entertainment business in Korea, as well as the negligence regarding mental health. You will always remember where you were when it happened,
Mhm.
for sure.
Mhm.
So when they actually did decide to come back, I have to say I was really surprised. I mean, it took a while, but they did.
Yeah, well, so they had a Japanese stadium tour scheduled, I
Mhm.
believe, in February.
Right.
Um, and there was kind of a lot of talk about whether they would go through with it.
Mhm.
And the four members actually did do that tour. And ended up being kind of a big, just kind of dedication to Jonghyun.
Right.
I am also very surprised that they continued after that, though. To be honest,
Yeah.
you could see how much they were hurting in
Mhm.
that show, and I was like, oh, like I feel like it's hard for them to sing these songs, like some of the songs they had his vocal still there.
Yeah.
Some of the songs, obviously, they covered his parts. Like, I don't know. Like, I was like, can you even mentally handle that?
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess after many internal discussions and just going through the grieving period, they did decide to continue and celebrate their 10th anniversary as a group.
너를 생각하며 지금 데리러가 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 다른 이유 하나 없이 데리러가.
Celebrate a decade of brilliance, SHINee decided to release their new single, Good Evening, in May 2018. This was the first EP of 3 that would combine to form the whole album, The Story of Light. Good Evening is an R&B and house influenced track that interpolates 112's Cupid and was co-written by Minho and Key. Um, this song is really interesting to me because as a group, especially dealing with a tragic situation, like a year prior, excuse me,
Mhm,
I was expecting a ballad or something, and I'm so happy that they did not do that.
mhm,
Um, because this was actually in a really sweet spot between a ballad and their usual dance tracks. Like they still were moving around. It still had kinetic energy, but it wasn't like we're happy. It wasn't dishonest. It felt really natural
mhm.
as a progression, and even vocally, I think the biggest thing that people don't realize that even if Jonghyun was not a main vocal, there's still that adjustment period that groups need to have, right? Like how do we sing the song without him here? How do we find this new blend? How do we decide how to distribute these lines? And I think that this song was like gorgeous, and it was like a really peaceful send off, and also it was like a salutations and a greeting, like, hey, here we are, and here we will stay. So I really did like this song.
Yeah, it's like you said, it's interesting. There's definitely a mysteriousness to it.
Mhm.
There is like a darkness to it
Yeah.
without being too sad.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's a very interesting line that they were on for that. I also think my favorite thing in this song is just the build of it, which is
Mhm.
emphasized by the choreography, which was done by Koharu Sugawara from Japan, who also did Taemin's Move. Because
Mhm.
they start off not actually really doing much. They're in these chairs.
Right.
It's a lot of just like melting and kind of like them just
Yeah,
kind of like
yeah.
stumbling around each other, and then it ends with like this
Mhm.
insane hard-hitting choreography. um
Yeah.
but yeah, I think the song is really, really cool. The way they incorporated 112 into there, like, whose idea was that? It was such a cool
Yes.
idea.
when I
Oh
heard it, I was
man.
like, oh, is this what I think it is?
Yeah, because I love Cupid. Like that is such
Yes.
a good song. So I love that we got this version of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, really, really cool track.
Mhm.
And definitely sits really well with the rest of their discography.
Agreed, agreed. And right after they released I Want You in June.
I want you 눈앞에 네가 다시 다가와 그때와 다른 결말이 오길
And I like this song because it kind of just, it's like mature sweetness. I love when groups are able to retain romanticism and like cheeky, like, oh, he's so cute. And then
Mhm.
without sounding too cheesy. It was a fun tropical house track. And I think it was a nice little transition right after Good Evening because it's
Yes.
not as somber, not as, serious, but it's not too fun. It was just right there in a sweet spot. Even in the video, they were just having a good old time. So I really appreciated that.
Yeah, I think this song also really emphasizes how well they've done as maturing their sound as they've gotten older. Because sometimes you have these groups that they try to kind of keep their old sound, but like they're
Yeah.
older, like it just doesn't work and then it just doesn't feel right.
Right.
Throughout the trajectory of their career, they've done a really good job of like their songs matching where they are in life, I
Oh,
think.
yeah, I think so
And
too.
this song, yeah, this song is fun, but it felt mature as well. So
Mhm.
yeah. So the final single was Our Page. This track was co-written by all 4 SHINee members, and it is a mid-tempo track reflecting on Jonghyun and the group's desire to continue together.
네가 남겨둔 예쁜 말들은 한편의 시가 되어 노래가 되고
So yeah, this song is really beautiful. If you don't speak Korean, I would recommend that you listen to it while reading the translation because some of these lyrics are really, really beautiful. They like mentioned their debut date in there. There's a line about like 5 hands holding each other. I don't know. It's just super sentimental and it really helps with the experience of understanding kind of the song and what they were going for.
I agree with you if you couldn't tell by my sobbing over here. The video truly encompasses the group's individual charms and skills before coming together. If you have not seen the video, I would recommend just kind of watching it. Just to kind of get an idea of who they are. I mean, you have Key dancing, Minho, acting. Taemin's doing his little workout thing or what. I don't know why they had him working out. It was a little weird, but they had him doing his own thing. And Onew is in the studio and toward the middle of the song, they come back together and they're kind of just looking at each other, just taking stock of what is in front of them. And also just reminiscing, much like Chris has mentioned. This song has the elements of everything that makes them them. And even though it did not make a splash, it really, I think it's interesting because K-pop has a habit of pretending that people don't exist. So the fact that they were able to acknowledge him openly and still are able to do so, I really do appreciate.
Yes. I also want to take the opportunity. This album is really good. Every song on there is super quality. There's a song All Day, All Night. That's one of my favorite SHINee songs at this point now. Yeah, just some really, really cool track. They also included a song called Lock You Down, which featured Jonghyun's vocals as well. So yeah, just it was great to get that much content from the group.
Right. Right.
Yeah. So they did actually release one more song to re-release the album. And so in September 2018, they released Countless. So after such a busy 2018, Onew, Key, and Minho all enlisted in the military for their mandatory service in 2019. And so they disappeared from the public eye, obviously, and Taemin continued his solo activities and also his activities with K-pop supergroup Super M, which we both got to see Taemin.
Yes.
So yeah, at least we got that.
So good.
But we've been waiting for SHINee to come back.
And they are now back. SHINee's back. SHINee's back. SHINee back. SHINee back. Okay. I'm gonna calm down. But SHINee is back today. Finally. Oh my goodness. With their 7th album, Don't Call Me. Do not call me.
In this area, some of my beliefs become a fantasy, and when some of my fantasies become a belief.
I'm excited, super excited to listen to the album. And I know, they worked really hard. And right now, it's perfect time. Perfect time. I think they have repackaged themselves. It's still SHINee, obviously, but this is a repackaged version of SHINee. They are literally back. And I'm excited. Chris and I are really hype about this because they are literally the Avengers of K-pop for me. They are. They are.
Yes. All right. So let us know if you guys want us to do like a full album review of the 7th album.
Yeah, of course.
But that concludes our 101.
Class is dismissed.
What an amazing discography.
Agreed.
All right. So just to remind you guys, we did make a playlist for you guys to follow along with. We included all the singles, but we also included some of our favorite tracks from their discography. Again, we did just focus on the Korean discography for this, but they have some awesome Japanese tracks also. But one highlight from the discography for me is a song from the One of One album, and it's called Feel Good.
I can make you feel good. 내 눈빛, you want it. I can make you feel good. 이 온길, I got it.
Okay.
It's retro. It's again kind of like One of One. It's retro with modern production, but there's some interesting moments in the production and in the vocals, and there's a very sexy delivery to it. And I love the dance routine. It's just like a lot. Again, I love body rolls, so like it's that whole routine is really good. Yeah.
You're synonymous with the body roll at this point. But yeah, I also agree with you. My pick from the One of One album is a Prism. I don't know, something about it is just really enjoyable. And I do believe one of the members actually picked it as one of his favorites during their SHINee Picks promotions during the 101 era. It has like the UK garage sound, which I really love. And I recommend it for to anyone who wants to get into them to kind of, you can start from the beginning, you can start from the end. Honestly, the discography is so strong. There's any point in time you could start, you would find something that you would love. I guarantee it.
Yes, I also highly recommend watching one of their concerts, if not all their concerts. I have seen them all multiple times, and I could keep just watching them all the time. Like all their shows are absolutely amazing. Yeah.
Yes, I would advise watching. What concert was it when they were making fun of Jonghyun's Excuse Me Miss?
SHINee World 4.
Yeah, I recommend that one because I'm not very good with numbers, but I recommend that one because excuse me, miss. If you don't know that, even if you're a new fan, I recommend starting there because these guys had ultimate chemistry. And usually during our videos, we kind of have like a little moment where we talk about our appreciation of the groups or the singer that we really like. But I just want to say that out of every group I've seen in my little 12 years of K-popping, they have some of the best chemistry. They have some of the best growth, dance-wise, vocal-wise. Everyone has a place, and they all have distinct voices. Like I said, they are literally the Avengers. You have Taemin, whose dancing skills and vocals have gotten so much better. Key always brought that little edge and that sass. Jonghyun's voice was absolutely amazing for the time. Minho, as Chris mentioned, consistent, handsome as hell, talented, and he does have charisma. And then you have Onew, who sometimes fall by the wayside because people don't think, he doesn't have a solo thing. It's like, this man sings opera. Okay, this man has vocals that, I don't know, he can sustain some notes. Okay, his breath control is out of this world.
Great vocal tone as well.
Exactly. Yeah. We constantly compare, no offense to anybody, but we constantly compare a lot of vocalists who have a very high nasally vocalist to Onew. Like, we need an Onew here. We need some kind of husk. We need some soul. And Onew has it. And even with all the things that they've been through, honestly, I can only see them going up from here. And I really do hope that they, I guess, I want them to stay together, obviously, but I'm not sure if I want them to stay with SM or just kind of do their own SHINee thing. I don't know, but I really feel like they are in a better place. And because they've been able to grieve properly, they are going to be just fine.
Thanks so much for listening, guys. Leave us some comments and hit us up on our social media accounts at CCTV Pops. Let us know what you think of SHINee and who else you'd like us to feature on this 101 series. Please give us a like, subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification bell so you know when we release our next video. Don't forget to check out our SHINee playlists on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Music. Until next time, that's Shan.
That's Chris.
And we are CCTV.
Bye.
Bye.